the mental health, people dealing with mental health issues in the country, because I looked at the statistics and I'm looking and said 60 million Nigerians may have one level of mental health, disorder or the other.
Yeah.
And we have a population of about 200 million people. It means that about 30% of Nigerians have one mental health disorder, they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And that brings me to ask,
Okay.
are we sure that the people who lead us do not make up the larger proportion of these people who are suffering from mental health disorders? Because the way the country is going, it seems like the people who are leading us may not be paying attention to their mental health. But let's leave that aside. Let's leave that aside. How did it come to you, the signing of the mental health bill, as someone who has practiced and who has fought for, first of all, the establishment of the Counseling Practitioners Council of Nigeria, which is a big one. How did all this come to you, seeing that the president is paying attention to mental health and actually going ahead to sign these bills, leaving aside some other very important, or some other bills as well? This is quite important. He takes it and signs signs them into law. How did that come to you?
I was so delighted. As in when we first heard, the Counselor Association of Nigeria has been in existence so far 50 years now.
Over 50 years.
I'm telling you. And when the bill was signed, August last year, we were like, wow, we celebrated because we actually fought. Most people that started the fights are no more alive. But I think their soul will be so happy. Mental health, when you were talking about mental health, is like the president left other important things to sign this. I'm telling you, mental health is the most important thing in the world's creation. It's just the ignorance of it doesn't mean that it's not there. Statistics have it that 4 out of 10 people,
4 out of 10
people are mentally ill. Yeah, so the ignorance of it has been there for years. So you can imagine the president. In fact, I really applauded the government of today, because they have been struggling for years. It's like the awareness was not there. But it's like this government actually have the awareness that there is a problem. Because you can, if you don't know there is a problem, there is no way you can solve one. Okay? And for them to accept that this have to be dealt with is a big one. It's a big one, and it's a thing, it's a welcoming idea that is bringing enlightenment to the world. Nigeria in general, at large, because so many people, just like you said, didn't even know that there was something called mental health. Most time you see all these advocates going about talking, people think they are making noise. No, because a lot of mental health has been ascribed as satanic, or people from your father's house or your mother's house,
or village people.
Or village people. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But these are real deal things that are happening. People are going through it in their workplaces. People are going through it at home. People are going through it on the streets. The taxi man, the driver, everyone, even the politicians, even our leaders. There are so many people that need to be checked their mental health status. It was where I went to, the first question I asked, I said, how many of us has done mental health checked before? They were just laughing, as in they were mockingly laughing at me, because people don't think of that. We can do exercise. We go to a medical doctor to check us physically. We need to also take care of our mental health. And the erroneous misconception of the word mental is becoming a problem. But mental is part of who we are. When we talk about mental, we just mean our mind. We are a holistic being made of spirit, soul, and body. So we are seeing the body. But the body does not function on its own without the mind. So the mentalness is the awareness that you have a spirit, you can think, you can feel, and you can act. So it's ability to be able to think properly, and also feel properly, and also act properly. So immediately you are not able to think the way it should be and feel the way it should be in a generally known acceptable behavior. It means that it needs to be checked. Yes, that's just it.
So, how routinely, how often should one check their mental health? Because, as it is, one might be healthy today, and tomorrow you develop a mental health, disorder, and the levels and the several mental health disorders. I don't know if to say there's a spectrum, but there's several of them, and you may not even know because you feel healthy in your mind. You feel like you're safe and you're well, but you don't know that you have a mental health issue that you should check. Now, how often should people check for check their mental health?
As often as we go to check for our physical health, if we can do a routine check at least once in a year. We should be able to do a mental check for our mental capacity, ability, at least once in a year. Okay, you don't need to wait for this to trigger. You don't need to wait for the trigger. We can only see the trigger. Oh, this person is complaining too much. This person that used to be so active is now sleeping too much. This person that used to eat can't eat well. This person that used to be happy is no longer happy. This person that, we can only see those little triggers, but it has been there. For example, when we talk about suicidal incidents or tendencies, it doesn't just wake up on its own. It has been there, but because we don't pay attention, we don't look, we don't see people, we don't get to see people beyond their voice. We don't get to see people beyond their smile. And a lot of people that are going through mental health, they pretend a lot. Why? Stigmatization. They don't want to become mad person.
I was going to come to that because that's one of the areas that the bill covers. Talk some more about
stigmatization, because like when you mentioned the former act was about lunacy and all that, lunatic act or something. So that stigma. And the way they were treated that time, they would just carry them and pack in one place, chain them, treat them like animal. Even some animals were not treated like that. That was inhuman. So nobody want to see himself there. And the only place they thought in mind to go was psychiatric hospital. And when you go to psychiatric hospital, the picture alone there is traumatic. The way you see the patient being handled is very traumatic. Nobody want to experience that because in your mind you are well. But you just feel there are a lot of things that are not normal you want to find out. So that's why some people now go to spiritual houses like the imam, the pastors, and the pastor will just pray and you feel okay. By faith, you just feel okay. But there is emotion imbalances that need to be checked. The psychologists, I'm a counseling psychologist, and the counselors, the psychotherapists, mental health experts, the psychiatrists, these people has been trained. They spend